What we do here is go back.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? I'm very well, although I'm a bit gassy, as you might be able to tell there. Thank you for asking. Hopefully everybody is doing as well as me, if not better. Not much better, obviously, because that would be taking the piss, but, you know, a bit. I don't mind a bit, but there's no need to flex, is my point. How are we all? What have we been up to? Do you get... what? Oh, actually, you're asking somebody else a question. Why would you be talking to me? No, that's fair. How are we all on the various places where I'm at? Did I get rid of the YouTube? What the fuck? Where did the YouTube go? 1 second. Hello there to both Twitch and YouTube, of course. I am on both. I think. Fucking hope so. Yeah, there we go. Hello everyone. I don't know why that disappeared. Or if I popped it out as a different window. I don't fucking know. End me. Just fucking end me. Right. Is Kev wearing a high-vis jacket? No. Every time I wear this shirt, you all fucking say that. Dickheads. Tommy Robinson ordered to pay 50 grand. Costs after being jailed for contempt. LOL. That is quite funny, to be fair. Although again, the sketch artist, right. So, if this is the sketch artist a thing in the US? Oh, hang on. What the fuck? Why isn't this working? Hang on a minute. What the fuck? What? Oh, for God's sake! 1 second. Why is my fucking shit not working? There we go. No, that isn't the one I'm after. What the oh, I'm gonna come inside a fucking duck. No, I'm not. Anyway. So, funny story, far-right fascist is going to pay 50 grand in jail, in costs, right? Lol. Very funny. But is the sketch artist a thing in the US? Because we're not allowed to film inside UK courtrooms. So it's always just like a sketch of oh, for fuck's sake. It's always like a sketch of what's going on. And they're always really shit. They don't get good artists to do this. They get rubbish ones. Because they've made him look like evil Jimmy Carr. Because again, this is what the person looks like, right? The little fucking fascist Almo freak. And they've made him look like evil Jimmy Carr. You don't look fuck all like him. He looks like Frank Lampard. He does look a bit like Frank Lampard, yeah. There's a touch of the Franks, yeah, definitely. Apparently 255 is fishing for a what do you call it? A sub as well, so that's a thing. Yeah. If someone wants to bite on that rod, didn't need to go to that place, Kev. That was unnecessary. Meme of the day. What's this? Oh, I'm not sure I can show this. That might be a bit near the knuckle. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong.
It's a stiff dick of poop.
It is a stiff dick of poop. Clearly. Thank you, Anglo-punk. But that might be a bit much. Let's keep it bland enough that the terms of service doesn't fuck me, is what I'm going with. Because Luigi could be anyone, couldn't it, you know? Just saying. Anyway. Thank you, Waver Historian, for gifting us up to 255AD/Clem H Fandango. Yes, much love. Oh, on the Tommy Robinson being an ugly cunt bit, though, right? So he's an ugly cunt, right? Now, do you remember me telling you, or showing you, that that's what he looked like when he came out of jail the last time? And I said, that's basically me. That's basically just a picture of me. And everyone was saying how fucking ugly it looked. Right. Fair point. Problem is, do you remember Mukhtar? The guy that took on fucking old, what's his bollocks? Fucking the crazy cunt, the posh actor, whose name I've totally forgotten. Anyway, him. Mukhtar did me dirty today. A hero of mine, Mukhtar, did me dirty. Because in relation to this person putting out this fake AI image of him on the back of a lion, Lawrence Fox is the person I was thinking of. Yeah, he took on Lawrence Fox, and Lawrence Fox threatened to sue him, and he just went, "Suck your mom," and that was it. Anyway, so Lawrence Fox, Mukhtar did me dirty by putting these two pictures out of basically me. It's basically me with the line, "I know you're American, and I know you're a grifter, but he came out looking like a crackhead last time he went to prison." We don't need to use AI. He came out looking like a crackhead. He came out looking like this. He came out looking like a crackhead. Ouch, chat. Very ouch. Very ouch. Anyway. Enough of fascist fucking gremlin cunt. Right. Where was I? Yes. If you want to alleviate my distress at being referred to as looking like a crackhead, you can do so in various ways. If you're on Twitch, you can become a member for $5 or whatever. You can also hit the follow button, following if you're new and all of that. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can gift subs to the community. You can do bits messages. 200 bits or more will get you a text-to-speech. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. $2 or more, they'll get you a text-to-speech. You can help me out on Patreon and or PayPal. I've got a Discord, I've got YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and I think that's it. I might have forgotten one. If we give you donos, we just enable your habit. I would be the fattest crackhead there's ever been. That's the one way you can tell I'm not a druggie. Because look at me. Have you ever seen... well, actually, no. You can get coke bloat. But then my counter to that would be, do I look anywhere near animated enough to be on fucking cocaine? Do you know what I mean? So you can get coke bloat, but like if you're a smackhead, if you're on brown, if you're on any of those kind of let's say lower drugs, you can't be fat. You can't be fat. Fact. You never see a fat crackhead. I didn't know coke bloat was a thing, to be honest. Oh my god. Yeah, look at Diego Maradona in the late 90s for exactly what I mean. Coke bloat is very much a thing. Maybe you're just starting your diet and that's the drug of choice. Well, you've got to say, right? If you want to lose weight and all of your money and probably life, heroin is a very good way to go with it. Pete Doherty was a fat crackhead. No, Pete Doherty was skinny when he was a crackhead. Now he's fucking clean. He's gone up like a fucking balloon. He's gone up like a fucking Zeppelin, the lad. Have you seen him lately? Fucking hell. I thought John Barnes had it bad. I thought John Barnes going up like a fucking the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was bad, but anyway. Join Union month. Well, every month is Join Union month, to be fair. Every month. Fact. Also, yeah, sorry, if you're on YouTube, hello YouTube, you can obviously subscribe to the channel for free. You can like, you can smash the shit out of the like button, the thumbs up. You can do super chats, which I will read out. You can become a member for 99 pence, and you can give membership to the community. It's a thing you can do. I believe in you. Oh, we're on a hype train. Why wasn't there a noise? Anyway, thank you, Madcap, for gifting us up to the Anglo-Punk. We're on a hype train. We're on a hype train. If we get to level 2 of the hype train, I will finger... what will I finger? I will finger the chance of the McDonald's employee who grassed up our friend here. I will finger their chances of ever getting that fucking money. Because it's not happening. They sold their soul for what they thought was going to be 50 grand. It's definitely not happening. They were already planning to sell the cunt out. Boom. Bizarre reason why McDonald's worker might not receive $60,000 reward for identifying Luigi Mangione. The strict rules could mean the tipster might not even get a dime. Can we get some fucking lols in chat? Just goes to show you, being a class traitor gets you fucking nowhere. They will always fuck you over, you dumb cunts. Delightful. I like Kev's T-Rex animation. Well, thank you. I mean, it's not really my animation, but I appreciate it. What's this? Oh, look at him. Jesus Christ. Pete Doherty was a skinny, handsome rock star. Literally fucking Kate Moss when I was a lad. And look at him now. He looks like a Mexican fisherman on a night out. No offence to the Mexican fisherman community, but the moustache isn't helping you, friend. The moustache is not. That is not a good addition to the face. Is all I'm going to say. Anyway, enough. Looks like a hipster walrus. That is unbelievably harsh and true. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so that dickhead being a dickhead. Noises happened. What happened with noises? But something happened. I don't know. Anyway, yes, if you want to do the hype train is there. Thank you, Full Mar Music, for gifting a... No, hang on. Dolphin Floyd for gifting a membership to Full Mar Music. Much love. I will learn how to read at some point, I promise. Why are you wearing a shirt? I never do. Well, it is cold. It is exceedingly cold. In fact, I was wondering, shall I put on a little jumper to go along with this? Because it's like, because I've got the door shut and there's a bit of heat sort of built into the situation, I'm good for now. But as the temperature drops, because it's like, you know, it's gone 8 o'clock, I will probably put a jumper on later if it gets a little chilly. Just saying. P. Doherty looked kind of cool back in the day. He looked exceptionally cool back in the day. Like I say, he was thin, he was kind of beautiful, he was literally laying pipe on supermodels, right? A rock star, playing in one of the coolest fucking bands in Britain at the time. He was awesome. Unfortunately, he was also a druggy fuck-up, which was going to come back to bite him on the arse. But why did it have to be fucking Amy Winehouse who died? Of the two of them, one of them or both of them were going to die, right? They were going to inject, snort, sniff and drink themselves into an early grave. One of them at least. Why did it have to be this way around? She was fucking talented as well. So he was never in Coldplay. No. He was in... Actually, I don't even know if they're a popular band in America. The Libertines, they were referred to as. Well, not referred to as, that was their name. Yeah. I feel weird blaming a working class person for just wanting a bit of cash. Well, no. There are ways and means of acquiring that cash. There's no, like... There's no... He was also in Baby Shambles. Good. Yeah, Fuck Forever is actually a banging tune. Even to this day, I will fucking stand by that point. Anyway. Can you tell I was a little rock and roll fucking prick back in the day? I was. Anyway. What was I going to fucking say? Yeah, so in terms of someone ratting someone out for 60 grand, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, and there's no absolutely ethical way of earning money under capitalism. But there's, like, degrees. There's degrees of lack of ethics, if you will. One of capitalism's key flaws is that it doesn't allow you to not do capitalism, and it's incredibly exploitative. And you put those two things together, and everyone's a bit fucked and a bit complicit. That's just true. And if you want me to help me be complicit in capitalism, you can give me money in the various ways I outlined. The fake Raytheon endorsement isn't paying the bills. Because it's not a real thing. Anyway, so there's a difference between working a 9 to 5 in some random office or working in a McDonald's, for instance, right? Between that and, I don't know, selling heroin to school kids. Both of those things are largely about trying to get money. No one really wants to sell heroin to children. No one really wants to work in a McDonald's. Both of those things are being done exclusively and explicitly for the gain of money. And yet, obviously, selling heroin to school children is significantly worse than working in a McDonald's. And I would argue that being a class collaborationist piece of shit and ratting somebody out for a feeling that we all have, even if, like, okay, they did definitely kill someone. Literally, we saw them do it. But we all understand the anger and frustration of that person. You don't need to rat them out like that. That's low. That's very low and shit. And just because somebody's working class doesn't mean they get to act in a way that is incredibly unethical and shit. If you're helping out the police, I don't give a fuck what background you're from. I don't give a fuck what economic situation you find yourself in. You're a dickhead. If you're poor, you should understand that the police hate you and want to do nothing but, at the very least, curtail your freedoms and at worst kill you because fuck it, an acorn hit the top of their car and they felt threatened, so they unloaded a clip into your fucking family. Like, you should understand that dynamic. That's not difficult. There's no working class person who hasn't faced the rubber hitting the road of that dynamic. So if you're still being a class collaborationist clown, fuck you. Not you personally, whoever. I saw Pete Doherty perform with Elton John. He was not impressive and seemed rather drunk. I was also there that day, Miss Hire. I'm old enough to have attended that particular gathering, and yes, he was clearly out of his fucking nut. I would say it wasn't alcohol alone that was the issue that day. Probably a cocktail of other things as well. But yeah, no, they did perform together at Live 8. Thank you, Inky Black, for helping me be a capitalist pig dog. I appreciate it enormously. Oh, talking of cops, hello Joe in YouTube chat. How are you, lad? Are you well? I do hope so. What in the fuck is that? Emily, why are you showing me this? What even is this? Firstly, it's in Dutch, so like I'm already disgusted. And who is that person? That's not Amy Winehouse, is it? That was John Frusciante in the 90s. Oh yeah, cracked out of his fucking tree. Yes, okay. Fair enough. People are always really shocked when they hear that Under the Bridge is a song about taking heroin. But that clearly shows they have not read the lyric at all. It's pretty explicit. Honestly, even though that's John Frusciante in the 90s, it looks like a delightful middle-aged lesbian. Like a really just a very pleasant person who you kind of know from around the bit. She's just around the place. You know? Good luck to her. Anyway. So. A serious topic before we dive into the suggestions from the Discord, right? A thing that annoyed me this week, or should I say, a thing happened this week which is fucking awesome and good, but that the right wing always have to try and make into a bad thing because culture war, right? There's a tradition that goes back to just after the Second World War, 1947 to be precise, of the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree. Now, Christmas trees are obviously a pagan abomination, pagan degeneracy, but also quite popular. Lots of people do them. And lots of people do public ones as well, right? Basically every city in the Western world, and many not in the Western world, put up Christmas trees. Even though they are not themselves animists, and therefore it doesn't really make sense. But, you know, smash paganism and Christianity together and you get the Christmas tree. Whatever. And so, in the UK, basically every town has several. If you're a big town like Birmingham or London or wherever, you have several sort of public Christmas trees in various parts of the town. And such is the case in London. One of which is a very special Christmas tree, though. It's the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree. It is the only one allowed on Trafalgar Square. And it is a very special, particular thing. It is a gift to Britain from the nation of Norway, the great nation of Norway, for our services of protecting the Norwegian royal family and government in Britain whilst the war was ongoing and they were occupied by Nazi filth. And, of course, aiding the incredibly brave and wonderful Norwegian resistance to Nazism. And so as a thank you for that, the Norwegian government give us a Christmas tree. Now, you might think to yourself, that's a bit odd. But it isn't just like a random Christmas tree. If you order like a spruce pine from Norway, because you want the authentic thing, they've got like essentially a kind of manufacturing process where they put down like young trees and they'll cut them down for you and send you one, and it's all very expensive and bougie twats do it. This is not that. This tree is unbelievably special. They send us an individual one every year, which they pick out perfectly because it's essentially the straightest growing up tree they have, and they cut it from ancient woodland, like proper, like protected, no one else is allowed to touch this shit woodland. in Norway. The tree, because it has to grow to that height, is often a century or more old. Incredibly precious, beautiful and wonderful thing, which they can't just cut down normally, because if you cut down a tree normally, it falls over and all the fucking pine needles go everywhere, which wouldn't be any fucking good. So they have to essentially pick it up from the top and then sort of saw it off very gently and then lift it up in place, put it on a fucking lorry, put it on a ship, send it to London, all at great expense and logistical effort, as a thank you. As a thank you across the ocean between brethren who helped each other out in a moment of absolute desperation and need. A wonderful gesture of comradeship, of humanity, of a congress of humanity. It's a wonderful thing, and a wonderful embodiment of the Christmas spirit. Yes, solidarity between peoples, goodwill to all men, women, and MBs. And so I love this. I love this tree. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I genuinely am pleased that the Norwegians have kept it going. If they'd stopped at this point, you'd be like, okay, it was a long time ago, whatever. Look, we get the idea, thanks, moving on. But they've kept it going, and that's fucking awesome. And so naturally, the right wing decide to be cunts about it. Because, obviously. Ollie London, the trans-Korean, that's not a trans person from Korea, that's a person who wanted to try and make themselves into a Korean person. Yeah. They had like facial reconstruction surgery. Nothing weird and racist going on there. Very normal person. Anyway, they, amongst many others, have complained that the tree is scrawny. Because of course, why not shit on a beautiful thing? Why not take a beautiful encapsulation of the Christmas spirit and solidarity between peoples and make it into a culture war thing because you can attack the brown man who's the mayor of London? You can attack a Muslimic. Like, fucking hell. These people are insufferable. And by the way, in case anyone's wondering, there is a Canadian flag there. That's where the Canadian embassy is in London. Yeah. Because, like, everyone has an embassy in London. It's always very funny if you travel through the kind of side streets of London. You'll see a random flag of a country that you don't recognise because the smaller countries can't afford the big fucking places like this. Sometimes it's just like a house or a former stables that they've converted into, like, you know, a meeting place for like the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines because they can't afford a big fucking place, you know. Anyway, so that's the tree they sent. They reckon it's a bit scrawny. It's a bit scrawny. Like, motherfucker. You know where that came from? They took it from ancient woodland, halfway up a fucking mountain, took it down gently, put it on a fucking ship to get it here. Yeah, a few of the needles fell off. It wasn't the most beautiful tree, aesthetically speaking, of course. But if you wanted a picture-perfect, you know, Christmas card tree, there's one literally just round the fucking corner, you cunts. It's not about aesthetics. If you want the poster perfect fucking Christmas tree, there are loads of them, publicly and privately, all across London. This is about a gesture of thanks from the Norwegian people, you fucking wankers. Now, obviously it's just being done for like culture war bullshit. And secondly, I've seen some of these twats going on about they're sending us a scrawny tree because of Brexit. I mean, I don't know how petty you think people are that they would do that. They would make their own nation look shit. Because obviously this like reflects on Norway, doesn't it? If they send us a shit tree and they get like publicity saying, oh, they sent us a shit tree, it doesn't look good for Norway. And by the way, to the people of Norway, don't worry. no one actually cares about this. It's just right-wing wankers. Honestly, your image in Britain is completely untarnished by this. This is nothing, right? They'll have forgotten about this and moved on to being something they've been told to be angry about, a different thing somewhere. You know what I mean? It'll be something else tomorrow. It'll be back to the Snickers having no dick vein. Absolute nonsense, right? So it wouldn't be in their interest to make themselves look bad by sending us a scrawny treat, even though it isn't scrawny, for fuck's sake. And secondly, just to clarify a small political point for you, Norway is not now, nor has it ever been, a member of the European Union. You dopey fucking twats. This is what we have to put up with. This is why things like Brexit happen. This is why Brexit happens. Because they don't even understand. They don't even know who is a member of the European Union. They just see vaguely European-looking place. That's EU. That's the EU for you. No, Norway isn't. Fucking Switzerland isn't. Fucking loads of this Southeast Europe isn't. Turkey isn't. Fuck me. Like, they're just, they're so stupid. And it's this level of, like, political fucking ignorance. This level of political illiteracy that leads us to this situation. Norway is in the EEA. It is indeed. And Britain also should be as well. It's sort of the best of both worlds. You don't want to be in the EU? Okay, we voted not to be in the EU. But we didn't vote to cut our own fucking head off. It's so stupid. We could have some of the same things that Norway have, or some of the same thing as fucking Switzerland has. Access to a massive economic partner right on our doorstep. That'd be cool. And it would mean we wouldn't have had to have all that fucking nonsense about the border in Northern Ireland as well. Ugh. Fucking idiots, man. It's the same in America. As soon as Trump was, literally the day after the election in the United States, the graph for the number of people searching the term tariffs rose like ridiculous, like thousands and thousands of %. So people were voting for a thing they had no fucking idea what it was. They don't know what it... They literally were typing the word tariff into Google. That's how completely nonplussed they were about the entire event. But we got a blue passport, so, you know, that's nice. Nah, Kev, we should beg the Yanks for a trade deal. They defo won't fuck us over. Oh, yeah, it's lovely. The same people telling us that Trump will definitely give us a free trade agreement don't seem to be too concerned that he's currently joking about Mexico and Canada being fucking states of the United States of America. He's literally doing that, by the way. He literally referred not a tweet, it's on his like site, whatever they call, sending a tweet on his fucking truth social, right? He truthed out, calling Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, he referred to him as the governor of the great state of Canada. The state of Canada, as in the state of Canada in the United States. He literally referred to the sovereign nation of Canada as a state of the United States. Now, that to a degree is just making explicit what has been implicit, that America basically runs Canada. But you're not supposed to do that bit, are you? You're supposed to pretend like they, you know, oh, well, you're independent, honest. Yeah, honest, yeah. The next 4 years are going to be fucking insufferable. Here's hoping, let's say, Luigi inspires people. I'm just referring to the video game character, obviously. I'm literally just referring to the video game character Luigi when I say that I hope that he has inspired people to fight against Bowser. Big Bowser. Anyway, let's take a look at the old Discord. Oh, by the way, one thing that did tickle me in the memes. Oh, for fuck's sake, you absolute knobs! I didn't know this was a thing. It doesn't even look any different. That's just me again. Oh, for fuck's sake! You people are incorrigible. Fuck you, Lord Fritos. Fuck you. Right. So someone did the edit of me as the shooter. Nicely done. Someone did the edit of me as the shooter in Windows Paint. And made me look like some sort of fucking E.T. situation. Like, what the what the fuck is that? I giggled at that for longer than I really should have done as a grown adult. Just saying. Anyway, let's take a look at what you suggested. I put out a thing on the Discord. By the way, everyone, you can go and join the Discord.
Lord Fritos donated $3. You are welcome. Despunkify.
Talking of Despunkify, we've got a suggestion of him. It's this guy, Rod Fleming. Do you remember him? The fucking lunatic guy from... He's a Scottish guy who lives in Thailand and is married to, as he describes them, a lady boy. He's also very transphobic. Yeah. Should we take a look at that one first? As you mentioned, Despunkify? Should we go in reverse chronological order from when they were posted? Because I think this is the most recent one. It's honestly, just the title, the trigger for autogynephilia is sending me. Jesus, God Almighty. Well, of course you're going to say that 255. You're the one that suggested it. No, you're not. It was usernameless entity. Oh God, more than one person is now fucking sending this shit to me. Usernameless entity started a thread, which I didn't even realise you could do on fucking Discord. Started a thread, Rod Fleming being a mentalist. Yep, a little bit. Okay, let's have a look. The trigger for autogynephilia. I mean, I haven't pre-watched this, but I will just say, content warning, extreme transphobia. I think that's safe to say.
Well, hello there, it's Rod Fleming here. Now, I know that I said I wasn't going to do much on autogynephilia, but in fact, I've been asked, so I'm trying to oblige people. Please remember, first of all, to like and subscribe, of course, but also remember that
Also, the best set of British teeth. This is the most dentally accomplished Briton. Right here. Fact.
I do one-on-one counselling for autogynephilia, and if you want to fight...
I do one-on-one counselling for autogynephilia. What a sentence. Does that mean you want to contact trans people because you want to fuck them? Is that literally just your thing, Rod? Fuck me.
Autogynephilia, you're going to need a counsellor. You're going to need somebody to hold your hand. I've talked to an awful lot of people over the years, and it is essentially impossible to do it without help, especially in the modern world where you go to most counsellors and they'll just say, oh fine, we'll just give you some hormones. Obviously, you're trans. No, you're not. If you have autogynephilia, you have a fetish. You are not a woman. Can we make that quite clear?
Okay, but like, what the fuck even is autogynephilia? You realise that's not a medical definition, right? That's not a medical thing. That don't fucking stuck future Kev 20. If I ever end up looking like this freak or acting like this freak, I give you permission to Luigi me. Okay? You have my absolute permission. 100%.
You are not a woman. I mean, you come here.
Oh yeah, should I book in a session with the guy and pretend and like fucking stream it. Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, the memes. Shall I contact him? Shall I contact Rod and ask him what his fucking rates are? Jesus Christ.
And you will.
Why is there a picture of just a woman with her in cleavage now? What's the purpose of this? What's this doing it? What? Alright, I'll send him an email then and I'll see. Look, if it's too expensive, I'm not fucking giving him. Look, but if it's a couple of quid or whatever, I'll book him in. Because that would be fun.
You'll see some of the most beautiful girls you've ever seen. And some of them are just stunning. And their performance of femininity is flawless. They're male. They're male and they come in both ways. We'll explain this another time, but some.
They're male and they come in both ways. What the fuck does that mean? So, hang on. So, you're fucking men that look like women, according to you, this is. You're fucking men that look like women and you find them attractive. So are you a gay man then? A gay man that really loves tits? Okay. I don't know what to say other than fine, whatever. You're just fucking weird, dude. Like, I don't know. They come in both ways. What does that mean?
Some are homosexuals. Some of them actually are transvestites. Autogynephilic transvestites. But they...
What is he talking about, chat? Can someone translate for me? I don't speak idiot. Can someone translate? What is he talking about? Some of them are gay and some of them are autogynephilic transvestites. Some of the language, it's like speaking to someone from the 70s. Fuck me, this is amazing.
all perform femininity to the point where you would not know. You just wouldn't. And they don't claim to be real women. So if people like that don't claim to be real women, I mean, what on earth?
I think they do. Who is he talking to? Who, of all of the people he just showed on the screen, I would guarantee that none of them. I guarantee that they all say that they're women. Because they are. I already did. It's not gay if I think he's hot. True. It's not gay if you finish on his back. Fact.
What are you doing? You're not real women. So, somebody asked, and I will try and do these in little snippets for you. Somebody asked, how does it all begin? Well, it's a very...
Well, when a mummy autogynephiliac and a daddy autogynephiliac get certain urges, and so they have to defile Christianity.
Very complicated question. There has been some research into the possibility of autogynephilia being a genetic, genetically caused, such that it runs in families, basically. But, there's no concrete evidence for this. It just, it's vague and it's just not convincing. Sorry.
Yeah, your entire bit is vague and not convincing. He's talking about this as if any of it's real.
I know Ray Blanchard has done research on this, and
hey, Ray Blanchard.
Yeah, you do sometimes see it, but it's not.
Transphobe mentions Ray Blanchard. Take a drink.
We can't establish this as a general rule. In fact, my opinion is, and I've studied this a lot, that all men have the propensity to be autogynephilic if certain conditions are met.
Every man is a transvestite, everybody. Breaking news. Did you know? Lads, gather round. Did you know you're actually a drag queen? Fact. Every hour is drag story hour. Boom. Mind blown. Mind fucking blown. Thank you, Mad Cat Scarty, for gifting a sub to Tharia Sharin. Much love.
In their early adolescence, right?
Okay,
All
babe.
men. It's not like it runs in families or anything else like that. They can happen to anyone, but it requires a certain set of circumstances to occur in a crucial age range, and that age range is essentially between 11 and 15. And it times specifically with a thing we call the sperm arch, or
do we need to talk about 11 to 15-year-old sperm arch? You fucking creepy bastard. Oh, made my fucking skin crawl. What is he doing? Chat. Oh. Fucking Christ. Honestly, this guy's a fucking demon. This guy's from the underworld, I swear to fucking God.
Tanner stage 4. And to be blunt, that's when boys start masturbating. And most boys, you know, they're rushing home after school to crack one off and they got...
Do you think about this a lot, do you? Rod? You thinking about young adolescent boys masturbating very regularly, or what? Because, I mean, right now, you couldn't sound like a creepier bastard. Honestly, if you were wearing a suit made of human skin, it would be less creepy than you just being you.
I don't know, magazine, they've got their phone. There is just a ridiculous amount of porn available for nothing online these days, so, you know, that's what they're doing. Now, based on a number of interviews, and obviously I can't identify people, but sometimes, I mean, it's not the only one, we talk about some of the others, but sometimes what happens is a specific item is like a trigger, bang, and that starts it. And
Is it usually like a cock or something? Maybe.
most common one is an item of ladies' underwear. Right? Yeah,
Is this also a thing that you think about a lot, Rod? Because right now I'm getting like an egg that not only doesn't want to crack, but like is toxic to the nth degree in order to ensure that it doesn't crack. That's what I'm getting from this. Like, this motherfucker would be so much happier if they just admitted what they are to themselves. But instead, they're ranting on the internet to nobody about all men are trans. Actually, all men are drag queens. Fact. All right, babe. Yeah, cool story.
I'm old-fashioned, I call them ladies, you know. It's how I prefer my women. Anyway, one person, I can't, no, there's no identification happening here. One person, it was his mother's underwear. And he found this one day when he was alone, and you know, and he just started to have these feelings.
Yeah, a pickled egg, if you will, is what we'll call him.
Excitement, erotic excitement. And for a long time he thought he was homosexual. And this is very common, because people don't understand that, you know, they have these feelings and they go, well, what could I be? And the obvious one that comes up is, well, you're gay. And the gays, because they're determined to recruit everybody they can, they don't actually help.
Fuck's sake! The gays are recruiting. Are you like a Section 28 imagination person? Are you from a 1960s advert from the US government? No, you're gay. Like, the gays are trying to recruit.
Help here, you know. I mean, these people are not homosexuals. They're attracted to femininity, right? They just love femininity. It's
Why? Look, Rod, you are clearly like some weird chaser guy who can't put up with the fact that in your head you don't think that these people are women, but yet you're attracted to them and have sex with them, presumably in exchange for money, because that's why you moved to Thailand. That's a thing you do, obviously. I don't know many people from Scotland who moved to Thailand for other reasons. It may happen, but let's be honest, no. You're desperately coping with the fact that you like to fuck trans people. You are attracted to trans women. And not in like a cool way or anything, in like a weird, gross, fetishized way. And you're probably into some sort of degradation kink where you like to say horrible things to people as well, given that you're this rude and disgusting about people. But I don't know why you have to make that everyone else's problem. Like, deal with your own shit. Like, it's so funny to me that this prick's going on about giving other people counselling when I have never, ever, ever seen a more clear example of someone who needs deep, deep therapy. Like, almost like Chernobyl level therapy. Like, that's the kind of mess they're going to have to try and clean up. That level of, like, yikerinos.
a matter of coveting and becoming what you covet, right? And we're going to go into that. So this person, that sparked his off. Another one, who's a girl here, is a friend of mine. I can't tell you name. She's a really lovely person. I'm very fond of her. And we were together one night. I think I've mentioned this, and she was with her friend. Her friend, because you can ask. People here are okay. You can ask. Asked her friend, well, what triggered you? How old were you? And she said, oh, I was always like this. I knew when I was 3 or 4 years old. I was wearing the towel on my head, to simulate long hair, and all that kind of stuff.
Hang on a minute. Why are you referring... Right, it's good that you're referring to this person as a woman, because they clearly are. This is a trans woman you're talking about, right? But you said earlier that they're men. So why are you referring to this person as a woman? Why are you saying that she's she and that she's a woman? Do you hear yourself, Rod? Because you're sounding very woke right now. Just saying. Sound like the woke mind virus might have taken you.
Now, little boys and little girls here dress pretty much the same. I mean, they wear shorts and t-shirts. It's a very hot climate. People don't waste time dressing their kids up in lots of, gender-specific clothes. But here you are. Here's a sandal and some shorts, okay? Because you're 4. If we're going to a party, we're going to a wedding, yeah, we'll put you in a dress if you're a girl. Put you in smarter clothes if you're a boy. But for daily wear, they dress the same. So this first one, she's like, yeah, that was me, and that's so classic of the homosexual type. They're aware of themselves as girls, and they are really strongly attracted to men, particularly older men. Do not kid yourself here. They are nuts about older men. And men in uniform, of course.
That is a stiff dick of poop. This guy's rotten. He's broken. This guy's actually fucking broken. Look at that face. What a demon. What an absolute fucking mutant. Fucking hell.
That's a really big one, But anyway, leaving that aside, I went and spoke to her friend, and her...
Because of course, no one else is attracted to people in uniform. Straight women have never been into people in uniform. Straight men have never been into, women in uniform. It's never been known. No. It's definitely just a gay man thing. Obviously. Thank you, Madcat, for gifting a sub to Fagoat. Much love.
Friend, who's lovely. She's a sweetheart. Was it like that with you? No. She says, I came home one day, This is her speaking. I came home from school one day and I found a pair of my sister's underwear on the foam, which is like the mattress, you know. And she was in the CR having a shower, but she'd left her underwear, which she'd just taken off, on the bed. And my correspondent said it was like being hit by a train. It was just bang. And she said,
Right, but Rod, hear me out now. It's not that this is a trigger for a latent transness that exists in all men, because that's mental. You're a mentalist. Stop being mental. What it is that these people were trans, and this was their moment of discovering that they were trans. That's how that works. That's the way round that works. It's not the pants that made the trans person trans. They were already trans, it's just they began to realise it more concretely in these formative experiences. Like, it's really not that complex. You're trying to make it into something weird because, again, you're either a trans person yourself in unbelievably toxic denial, or you're just a disgusting chaser in cope mode, like extreme toxic cope mode. Or possibly a bit of both, maybe? I don't even know.
that she had never felt anything like it. It was overwhelming. And what she did, actually, was, and she had never done this before, she'd never self-pleasured herself before.
So you're back to talking about
underwear.
You're back to talking about a teenager masturbating again. Good for you. I mean, we'd gone a whole 3 minutes without you talking about a teenager masturbating, so I'm glad we're back on that topic. Does seem something that occupies your mind rather a lot, Rod.
And as soon as her sister was finished in the shower, she went, "Oh, I'm having a shower too." She went into the the comfort room, that's what we call the bathroom here, the comfort room, and jerked herself off. And she said it was like, I don't know if you can remember your first one, but I remember mine, and yeah, it was pretty impressive. Anywho, that's when it started. And she said, from that point on, I knew instantly what I was. I knew instantly I was a bakla, which is really the Tagalog word for ladyboy. It comes from babae, which is woman, and lalaki, which is man. So you get bakla, which really is like woman man.
He does love the word ladyboy. He does.
Just so you know, be careful how you say it. It can be said in two ways. One is a sort of soft way, one is quite an aggressive way, and a lot of Tagalog depends on the inflection. I mean, they say the same thing two different ways, and one might get you a punch in the face, that sort of thing. So she said, from that point on, I wore girls' underwear every day underneath my school clothes. I could not do it. And as soon as I was a little older, I put a bra on under my shirt. And as soon as I got older, when I was old enough to leave school, I grew my hair. And she was taking hormones before she left school. She started taking hormones right away. So.
It sounds like this is a trans person, mate.
Why would I wait? I know what I am. I'm a bakla. So let's try and analyse that, break it down a little bit for you. And so what seems to have happened, I mean, it's actually quite clear what happened, was that when my friend came home from school and she was 13 years old, she was very specific, I was 13. She's 13 years old, and she came and she saw her sister's underwear on the bed. She saw an erotic target, okay? Her mind went something like, it created the girl that should be inside wearing the underwear, right?
He does. He thinks that the pants have magical powers over people. Honestly, he's got his big Mormon energy right now. The magic pants are back. No, dickhead. It's not the pants that make fucking people trans, is it? What the fuck does that even mean? Oh, absolute nonsense.
So the idea of underwear and the idea of girl became united in her mind. Do you see what I'm saying here? Right? Now this is really important. So she then took the underwear, I presume her sister's going, what the hell do you do? Where will my underwear go? Doesn't matter. She took the underwear, okay, and she put it on herself, and she went to the CR, you know, exploded. She'd never done it before, so it was like, oh my God, you know, messy. Fortunately, these CRs are basically wall to wall, you know, you can just hose it all down so it's fine.
Oh, for
anyway,
fuck's
from that point on,
sake.
she wore the underwear every single day. And she continued this practice of coming home, being thoroughly aroused, having worn this clothing all day, basically jerking off, and then repeating this day after day. And this absolutely confirmed in her mind what was going on. Reaffirmed, actually. Reaffirmed is a better word. You know, I'm a backla, and this, I'm getting more backla every day. And she's taking hormones, so she's getting, you know, she's a very attractive girl anyway, she's great bones. And so she's like, you know, I'm getting more and more. I'm a backla, that's it. Now, I think this is quite interesting. You know, in the West...
Is it?
Something very similar happens. And, you know, these guys can run around lying about it all as much as they like. It doesn't make any damn difference something like this does happen. I mean, you know, the number of men in the West who are walking around right now wearing nylons under their trousers, or underwear, you know, ladies' underwear under their trousers, gold zami knickers or bras or anything.
Yeah, there are people who wear women's knickers. Most of those people are just trans people. Some people like the feel of it. Some people like the feel of it. I've been told, although I don't know this, but apparently they feel quite gentle against your bits. They're a lot softer, nicer than men's, you know, skiddies.
Anything else like that. I mean, it's a lot, but they don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. And
Yeah, because weirdos like you will make fucking disgusting comments. Is it any wonder they don't fucking talk about it? I don't know how much more I can fucking take of this.
And to be honest with you, if they're able to control everything doing that, well, you know, it's nobody else's business. You know, it's fine, do what you like. It's a free world. Well, it used to be. It's when they start to experience mental problems over it that we have to be concerned. For them, mainly. But this idea of this object representing, you know, the erotic target, the girl. So that what happened when my friend took the underwear, right, took it off, and she put it on, because the underwear created a girl.
He literally does. It's magic underwear theory. The underwear has mind control powers. You realise that they must have seen traditionally women's underwear before, right? This wasn't the first time they'd ever seen women's underwear. They presumably, in the case of the mother or the sister or whatever, like they'd grown up around femoid family members, so they'd seen women's knickers before, like in the washing or, you know, on the drying on the line or whatever. It's just this is the first time with a certain semblance of maturity that they'd made a connection between like gender and clothing or whatever, and this was something that sparked a thing that was inside them. It's not that the pants created a trans person. It's that this was a moment where they unlocked a thing that they already were. Like, I don't know how much... It's very simple. Clothes make women out of a man. True. Fact and true.
Right? So when she put the underwear on, she became a girl herself.
No, she already was.
Understand that? It's like, flip. It's like, you remember that film, The Man?
No, they already were a woman. It may have been the first time they ever truly realised it. Sure. That might be the case. I don't fucking know. But they already were a woman, obviously.
Mask with that Canadian actor, I can't remember his name. A very good film, very good actor. Where he puts the mask on and it changes completely. And this is exactly...
Do you mean Jim Carrey? Is Jim Carrey Canadian? I thought he was American. Hang on. It's literally the only interesting thing that I think any of us might learn is if I find out that Jim Carrey was Canadian, or is Canadian. Where are we? Wikipedia. There we go. Come on. Is a Canadian-American actor. He was born in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. Okay. I did not know that. Spent his early years in Scarborough, Ontario, part of the metropolitan Toronto. When did he go to America then? In the late 70s. Oh, he's old. How old is he now? 62. Good lord. Okay, you know he is Canadian. Okay. Well, there you go. I learned something from this video. Nothing about trans people, but I did learn that Jim Carrey is Canadian. So good stuff. Woohoo! Just want a tenner on a scratch card. Fuck yes. Love it.
What happened with this person that she put on the underground. That's it. I'm a girl. I'm a bachelor. I'm not the same person. I'm someone else. And that was all because of the talismanic effect of the underwear. Right, so if you have...
The talismanic effect of undies. I think that's the note at which we just go, you know what, whatever, mate. Like, literally shut the fuck up. Let's move on to something not as terrible, maybe. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the Tabernacle, good people, friend of the show. By which I mean I've talked to him a little bit in private ages ago. Anyway, makes good videos though, and did one about Ethan Klein. Again, it's one that was suggested in the Discord. You should go and join the Discord if it's a thing that you want to do. If you want to suggest things, that is an awesome popper. Please tell me please tell this creature that I would destroy worlds to see it smile. I would burn the world down just to illuminate its face.
So I've been thinking about making this video for a while, and I was really wondering, like, how much effort should I put into it? I know that's a bad thing to say as a YouTuber. Like, should I really, like, research and go through everything to expose Ethan Klein allegedly not being as against extremism as he would say, or should I just, like, play the stuff I know? And I'm going to go for that because there's other things I want to focus, like, a more structured video on. But, yeah, basically, when I made a video about Ethan Klein's crusade against Hassan for being, like, some sort of rabid anti-Semite, one thing that caught my eye and I found particularly hilarious, obviously someone who...
Yeah, no, Brits are annoying. But, like, it's just what was suggested in the Discord, Elliot. I get that. The dog killed Wilson. Lovely reference point. Lovely Tom Hanks film reference point there. It's just stuff from the Discord. So, like, if you want me to watch things from non-Brit bongerinos, then suggest that. Oh shit, the next one's Sean. So it's another fucking Brit bonger. If we get that far, I don't fucking know.
Who's a bit older, been watching YouTube for a long time, been a YouTuber myself since 2017. Ethan Klein said he has always been fighting extremism online, right? So this guy has been a crusader against extremism.
No, he hasn't.
No matter if it's left-wing or right-wing, he's just against it. And he's been like our strongest soldier against especially like right-wing extremism. So when he has heat for the left, That's just him being like a real great fighter against radical elements on both sides. So I have the post here, right? And this is just so insane. So he was talking about, you know, Hassan just being an extremist. And he said, when I made the show with Hassan, I genuinely thought he was just a social democrat progressive like me. I mean, even you saying that about yourself is really funny. I had no idea his politics were so radical. That's my fault.
Radical!
90% of the time he's shitting on Republicans, and that's what I had seen. But his politics are like a Trojan horse, a veneer of reasonability with extremely radical views hidden within. The cracks began to appear.
What? Hang on, whoa. He's never been, like, shy about calling himself a socialist at any point. You can argue whether you think he actually is a socialist or not, or whether him buying a house means that he needs to be fucking hung, drawn and quartered or whatever. Fine. That, you know, whatever. But he calls himself that regularly and has done for many years. Like, he's never been shy about who and what he is. The idea that this is a Trojan horse is nonsense. It's just because he decided to go after your favourite security blanket ethno-state. Boo-hoo.
When we started talking about Ukraine, Taiwan and Tibet, once I noticed it all began to fall apart. I'd be interested to hear like your problems with what he said about Tibet. I hold myself accountable for anyone from my audience that was radicalized by him.
What did he say about Tibet? I've never even heard him talk about Tibet.
Which is why I'm doing what I can to undo the damage. I've come to see Hassan as MAGA for the left, spinning alternate realities to fit the...
I love it that he goes on about extremism, and yet, like, he seems to spend all of his time... This is Ethan. Seems to spend all his time trolling around Destiny's fucking Reddit and Discord for, like, tidbits about how Hassan's an evil piece of shit. Like, motherfucker. You realise this is Destiny, yeah? Like, one of the most disgusting creatures to have ever crawled out of the cesspit that is Twitch. Fucking hell.
Dogmatic view of the world. As someone who's been fighting extremism for many years, absolute fucking lie and just so funny. Funniest thing he's probably ever said. I cannot look the other way when it comes from my side of the aisle. Absolutely insane. He thinks Hassan is like some, you know, far left extremists. But let's just start with what he went on to say recently. Him and Hila Klein praised Yoav Gallant, right?
True.
And Ethan said, well, I don't know much about him. Before
That's Yoav Gallant, the guy who has an arrest warrant for him from the International Criminal Court. Meaning that if he travels to any country who signed up to the Rome Statute, they would have to arrest him for crimes against humanity. But, you know, he was the moderate. He was the good guy in the Israeli government. And to be fair, like, he was sacked because he was like, maybe we should stop doing the war now? Maybe? He'd sold out. The woke mind virus got him, clearly.
Before going on to then defend him calling Palestinians animals as he started to justify the invasion of Gaza, right?
Yeah, Bibi like talk a lot, and Bibi's become a lot like Trump.
Yeah,
so.
Bibi's his guy. They're like homies. Bibi's celebrating last night.
Just
hang on, what's this? Hassan Piker defends China's invasion and annexation of Tibet and defends China's repression and destruction of Tibet's culture. Hassan compares to the South during the Civil War.
Okay, Ethan, but like,
Go ahead.
Tibet was literally a fucking feudal slave mandate, like
So
autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like, that's not far from the norm in fucking normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
So
took
China
over.
unilaterally.
Hang on, but the thing is, them having a feudal system, and by the way, yeah, the Dalai Lama should not be venerated as a bringer of peace and joy. No, they want a feudal, monk-led monarchy. That is the system he wants, right? But there's a difference between saying that's a bad situation and then saying, oh, so it's fine that China now runs it? That's no. That's not how that works. No. A monarchy. True. Thank you, Lace Argyle, for 53 months. Jesus Christ. Sort yourself out. That's too long. That's far too long. Come on now. Behave. The tankies would call it liberated. But that's the thing. It could be, in theory, it could have been liberation, right? If they'd gone in there and installed like a Western, not even Western, like it could be any kind of more democratic system, that would have been fine. If they'd gone in there and just like got rid of the sort of slave society that existed there, cool. Like, I don't know that it's still China's job to be the unilateral decider of that, but whatever. But they just took it, and they still have it. Like, Tibet is still being run by China now. Which, like, that's also fucked. Don't do that.
Took over Tibet.
Like,
Well,
these are
their culture. They basically are trying to...
Thank you to Mad Cat Scotty for gifting a sub to As Friends Rust. We're on another hype train. If we get to level 2 of the hype train this time, who shall I finger? Who's dead? Who died recently that would be funny to finger? I'm trying to think of... I'll finger Mao. Fuck it, why not? I'll finger Mao. He killed loads of people. If we get to level 2 of the hype train, I will finger Mao Zedong. His corpse. Rod isn't dead yet.
Stop it. Get some
Thank you, Swally Curly. Much love. Much fucking love.
You know, homogenize the culture.
if your culture
They're trying to spoil the religion and
the part
Thank you for
identity.
bits,
part of,
Fago.
the part
They
of
did them
feudal
a favor.
warlords and slavery, abolishing that, yes, I do think that is good.
No, China did them a favor.
I think that, yes, I
was
will
a
be
mad-
on the record
just
to
like
state
America did it.
that
Nah, I'm
while
not
the
gonna say
Chinese
it.
government... Wait,
I'm not going to say it.
well, there is no equivalent in American intervention that you can point to in a similar capacity, unless you're talking about...
Okay, so
Well, unless you're talking about literally all of America, which they took from the native peoples in basically the same way.
And I think this is a good...
And used, by the way, many of the same arguments of like, well, they were running it in a very backward way. So we've taken it and we're going to use it productively in a good way. Just saying. Like, you're literally defending imperialism now, Hassan.
This is a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American federal government going into the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is...
Right, but they were literally fucking taking land that belonged to the United States of America.
The return of the sausage.
Quite.
I wonder if Mao likes kitty bonks. I know I do. Give Kevin money so I can get kitty bonks.
I don't know if Mao enjoyed that, but he will be getting a finger bang, not a kitty bonk, because we're on level 2. But you can still give me money. It's a thing. Jesus fucking Christ! Holy shit! Okay, can I show that? No, because there's Areola and Mauvage. The thing that was just linked there by Elliot. I mean, go into it with bleach for your eyeballs because you will fucking need it. When I say Mauvage, I am not joking. Madge. Oh, he's got some sick mussy.
is violent retribution from a powerful federal government
Tibet was a separatist.
that squashed, okay?
Tibet is the South in the Civil War.
Yes. Tibet in the time frame.
What threat was Tibet to China? What fucking threat was Tibet to China at all? Was Tibet taking land from China? Was Tibet declaring war on China and attacking Chinese military bases? No. So it's not remotely an applicable comparison. Tibet was doing nothing to China, literally at all. Again, that's not to defend the Tibetan system or anything. I'm just saying, like, this is whack.
frame where Chinese intervention happened would be the South. Yes,
So
they
what
were
was
doing
the,
slavery.
What was
they
the
were
moral
feudal.
aspect of the war of China?
The interests are obviously like national security or whatever the fuck they claim, but ultimately the reality was that beyond the material benefits, that yes, they were a feudal, oppressive, slavery-backed state.
Okay, but I will point out that China has many of those same characteristics as well. I don't know that a country that needs suicide nets can be described as entirely a free market. And it is just oligarchical and oppressive, so... Maybe Mongolia needs to liberate China. No, obviously.
Autonomous region.
I want to see the Maosi. Well, the link is above. Scroll up and see the Maosi. There's no way I can fucking show it. Because it's far too graphic for Twitch, unfortunately. I'd be more than happy to show it. You're all fucking adults here. I've said before, Twitch and YouTube should have literally an 18 plus thing, right? Not just a little thing that says, oh, you might see a bit of Mauser-Dussy, right? None of that shit, like, you know, and you have to press OK. Like an actual 18 plus section, where if you want to show some tits or a cock or something, go for it. What the fuck? You're all adults. You all know what this is. And you know on that, I would be showing so much dong. Not my own dong, because that's like, no one wants to see that. I have to fucking zoom the camera in as well. You know what I'm saying? But... what's this? Have you ever seen this, Kev? Seen what? What is the thing? The dystopian lake filled by the world's tech lust. What? Hidden in an almost unknown corner of Inner Mongolia is a toxic, nightmarish lake created by our thirst for smartphones. From where I'm standing, the city of Baogang Steel and blah, 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 blah. Oh, so it's like a dump place. Oh, shit. Okay, I'll bookmark that and I'll have a read of that. Thank you. No, I've never seen that before, but thank you. Who the fuck sent me that? I've fucking, my mind's gone. Emily. There you go.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they...
A really good guy that has an arrest warrant for human rights abuses and war crimes from the International Criminal Court. Really good guy.
had a disagreement, and that's like so
The most normal IDF soldier, by the way.
Trump coded.
Well, he was like a moderating voice in the war room.
Yeah.
And he got rid of it. He looks a more moderate voice. I don't know anything about the guy. Just recognize his picture. He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So he goes on to defend not only his wife for saying this, but defend some of the horrible things Gallant has said.
What in the... Is that Stalin? Or Saddam Hussein? I can't really tell. I think it's supposed to be Stalin. But it legitimately could be... It could be a bit Saddam. Saddam After Dark. Bashar al-Assad. True. That is... I mean, it's nightmarish.
While saying that Hassan is purity testing people who might be secular and still support Zionism, right? If they are like you, then yeah, he should be purity testing anyone who thinks like this. So he says, Hila doesn't know a lot about politics, but she knows that Gallant is opposed to Netanyahu and wants to end the war. That's why she said he's a good guy. He wants to end the war. She's right that it's objectively bad that he...
hang on. He opposes Netanyahu when he was in Netanyahu's cabinet. That's an interesting definition of opposition you have there.
Got fired. I mean, I wouldn't say that. And then a quote where Gallant called Palestinians human animals and saying there will be no electricity, food or fuel, which is actually like a war crime. Like he's saying,
Yep.
I'm going to do war crimes.
That
This
is
is
a
on
war
October
crime.
8th. Ethan defends this saying, this quote is from the 8th and it's a direct response to October 7th. I think it's reasonable assumption that he was talking about the Hamas militants.
Right, but he went on to cut off the electricity for everyone. Like, you don't get to be like, oh, well, maybe he just meant the Hamas militants, when he went on to bomb and kill and deny aid to all of the people that are there. Just saying. Like, he did the war crimes. He literally did the fucking war crimes.
That killed civilians. Either way, this is the guy in his war cabinet that wanted to end the war, and he was just fired. If you care about war ending, then you agree with Hitler. Already, that one thing is more extreme than anything Hassan has ever said. You're literally supporting a war criminal.
His accent is definitely southeast of England. I can't quite place it myself, but he sort of sounds vaguely like he might be from Essex. Maybe. But it's kind of London-ish area. Is about as narrow as I can go with it right now. In terms of his accent, that is. I should probably have explained that. Why has he got loads of oranges? I've never noticed. Why has he got Terry's chocolate oranges there? I mean, maybe he just likes the chocolate, I don't know.
No. And supporting the rhetoric of a war criminal. Your wife then says a war criminal is a good guy. You're saying he's a moderating voice, and then you double down on that. This is a war criminal. It's like you telling me that Rommel was a good guy in Nazi Germany and was some sort of moderate. Even if he was a moderate,
he's from London.
By their standards, he's still a Nazi, right? So you even saying that makes you more extreme.
Okay. Who wants to see Kev's knob? Me, you. Okay. That's a bit weird. He adds a chocolate orange for every so many new subs. Really? Oh, that's delightful. Well, I hope he adds lots more oranges, because he's a good lad.
Than Hassan, so that's absolutely hilarious. But Ethan Klein seems to like have his brain like scrambled. Does he not remember his whole history? He has been like an edgy comedian for a long time. Now, if you guys don't remember this, there are multiple podcasts of Ethan Klein sitting around with iDubbbz and other people just saying slurs, like the N-word and stuff, right? I don't think anyone who fights extremism on both sides is sitting around shouting the N-word on their own podcast. But that is just one thing. So Ethan Klein probably thinks he's been fighting extremism because this is his stance on Black Lives Matter back in like 2015, 2016, right? And can I remind people, this man is like middle-aged now. So when I'm showing you older clips from like 8 years ago, this isn't like a 21-year-old or something or a 19-year-old. This is like a nearly 40-year-old man saying this stuff. Again, a guy who thinks Hassan is so radical. He's the arbiter of what's extreme, despite him and his wife calling a legit war criminal some sort of moderate.
Yesterday we made the mistake of almost talking about politics, and we basically triggered so many people. I was actually shocked. This time we spoke about the Black Lives Matter and a Joey Salads experiment, but when it's something as politically
that was Filthy Frank in the thumbnail, yes. Which is a fucking crazy callback. I wonder, is he still going? Is he still doing anything? Or is he like totally disappeared? Does he exist anymore?
Charged as a race and Black Lives Matter, it's really f***ed up. We never expressed an opinion. We never expressed support for Black Lives Matter. Yet, if you look at the comments, they are insane. We made a video making fun of crazy feminists, and all the people on the left were coming and calling us Trump supporters, that we were a haven for the alt-right, and we're unsubbing and getting triggered. And here's my point. Each side hates each other so much that they're so clouded by hate and judgment that nobody listens. In both of those videos, we never even expressed any opinion about either side. This show is about rational thought. It's about cutting through the bull, whether you're on the left or the right. This is not a politically affiliated show, and it never has been. We're about cutting through the bullshit. In this climate, it's like, you can't say anything anymore. Each side, the left and right, see each other as the devil. Not as like human beings with compassion and people who are worth listening to, trying to understand. Because Joey Salads faked an experiment and they couldn't even handle the thought of us not absolutely blasting Black Lives Matter. We didn't say a word of support. But the fact that we didn't blast them was enough for them to unsub, downvote the video. You're welcome to hate Black Lives Matter. I don't like a lot of the shit they do either. But you want to base your beliefs on a fake social experiment? At least if you want to hate Black Lives Matter, which is perfectly fine. God bless you. Do it on...
Perfectly fine. God bless you. Fuck off.
Whatever, right? Our Neanderthal cousins were probably just raping like crazy. So there's definitely something like in us to like conquer. Men want to like conquer.
Right.
So it's, you know, women are in a nature setting like to be conquered.
Ooh. All right, Jordan Peterson, calm yourself, mate.
Something real. Okay, go find a real reason.
So can I just remember the words Ethan Klein used? I have been fighting extremism for many years. Here is him basically trying to be a centrist between Black Lives Matter and racists, and basically saying, I don't have an opinion either way, I'm the centrist.
Well, that's lib shit for you, isn't it? That's standard libbing. Can't the Black Lives Matter people and the racists get together and just come up with like a halfway situation where we have like half the racism? That'd be fine. Then we can all just meet in the middle. The racists get to do a bit of racism and the black people get to kind of exist. So, like, you know, fucking hell.
In this, and Black Lives Matter, you know, I have problems with them as well. Is Black Lives Matter back then, were they considered extremists? I mean, I guess they were if you were right wing. But yeah, that's where he's coming at it from. Like, I am the center, both sides are...
Oh, Frank makes music now. Okay, cool.
And that's back in 2016. Again, fighting extremism for many years. So he also had this podcast that seemed to love platforming mostly right-wing people if they got political. He had Jordan Peterson on twice.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Of course.
I promise you I didn't pre-watch. I did not pre-watch this. Okay? I promise. Cross my heart and hope to die. Finger me and make me sigh. That's a fucking bar.
They were like shitting on the left. Now, I would always have considered Jordan Peterson an extreme voice.
Yep.
People who didn't back in the day were just deluding themselves. Like, I've made videos, I think like one of my first controversial videos I made in 2017 calling Jordan Peterson like a legit misogynist, right? So he's always been more extreme in his views, and even though he used to be able to phrase it a bit better, like what he was talking about, I would always say he was more extreme than Hassan at the very least. So if you've got a problem with Hassan now, you'd think you'd always have a problem with Jordan Peterson, not getting him on your podcast to agree with him loads. To be fair, back in 2017, I would definitely say Ethan Klein could have changed by then. But if you're making the point you have fought extremism for many years, then I'm using your own standards. Many years. I consider many years to be like, let's say 7 years. Let's use that metric, right? But here's an even worse one, right? Ethan Klein was big friends of JonTron back in the day.
Of course he was.
They used to work for him, or Hila Klein used to work for him. Now, of course, the only good thing Destiny ever did on the internet was debate JonTron, where he just went like mask off, like full...
Yeah, basically. What's this?
Sex やりたいな気持ちいいなセックス気持ちいいな僕はセックス大好きいつもセックス毎日やりたいセックスチンコをマンコに入れたいな気持ちいいな入れたい
Okay, that's rubbish. Filthy Frank makes shit music, apparently. Should have stuck to the comedy, I think.
Full fascist. Like, not even trying to dog whistle, really. Literally just saying the most, like, unhinged far-right stuff. But because the internet was different back then, everyone just acted like it wasn't a big...
Did you notice that your stream is mature now? Is it? I don't think it is. You philistine. Fuck you. Fuck you, Lord Fritos. That was rubbish. That was rubbish. I'll not be taking that opinion back, okay? That opinion will be staying out there for everyone to fucking see. Filthy Frank can suck a dick.
Deal, but this guy just outed himself as like a legit 4chan like poll user, basically.
Report all of crime too, disproportionately compared to wealthier whites.
That's just not true. But okay,
wait,
you
hold
can
on,
say
wait. You don't think that
Well,
poverty...
yeah, of course. Well, yes. Okay. In relative.
In relative terms, yes.
In relative to wealthy whites, yes.
Sure.
You're correct.
Okay, so do you think that poor blacks probably commit more crime relative to wealthier black people?
They do. Wealthy blacks also commit more crime than poor whites. That's a fact.
Wait, what?
That's mental. That's one of the most ridiculous things.
Yeah, look it up.
Where is these movements of Mexicans trying to get, what, Texas to go back to Mexico? What?
When you have these illegals coming up and getting so bold to say, try deporting me, Trump, people see themselves, I'm assuming, as Mexican. I don't know that they come here and the soil magically turns them into Thomas Jefferson's direct descendant. So why is it that white people, especially white Americans, resisting their own displacement is racist?
Because you're talking about displacement.
But don't worry. Once he did this, Ethan Klein, the extremism fighter, gave him a platform on his podcast where they had like a nice friendly chat, and they even talked about this. They even talked about him going full mask off fascist. And many years extremism fighter who praises war criminals, what did he have to say about this?
I'm sure people want to know about this, so I'll just get it out of the way. Because I haven't talked about it since then, for good reason. I don't really want to get into this. It's a minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and nitpick everything I said and qualify it or anything. All I'm going to say is that, yeah, in that moment, I was, going into something that I needed a lot more time to prep for. I just went in guns blazing because you get a little arrogant sometimes, I guess. You think, like, I'm going to take this guy to task. But, obviously I understand, like, why people had the reaction that they did. So, I felt bad about the incident in a sense. But, like, I also just feel bad that we can't talk about these things without witch hunting each other.
Right.
Because, that's basically my full statement.
Witch hunting each other.
I mean, do you feel like you said some things that you regret?
Yeah, I could have phrased a lot of that better.
Well, let me just say for the record, like, that I disagree with a lot of the stuff you said, but I still think, like, if you genuinely feel a certain way, or some people genuinely feel a certain way, the correct way to deal with it is not to, like, prevent them from saying it.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that.
We should be
Who the fuck was preventing anyone from saying it?
able to talk about it. Like, even if I strongly disagree, but I think that we should still be able to talk about it. I mean, I don't know. It's so tricky. Like,
it's tricky. By the way,
is it an impossible task for someone as a fan of, if you say something they really disagree with, is it an impossible task for them to be like, I'm trying to get in the mind, I really disagree with that. I hate what he said, but I still love him as a person and as an entertainer. I guess that's a timeless question.
I mean, I don't think it's a stretch to say the current social climate's insane.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And the only way we'll ever get past it is just talking about stuff.
I'm not defending what you said. I just state, again, for the record, I disagree with a lot of the you said. Okay. But that's fine. Like,
but
it's
we
okay.
can still be friends.
That's part of the problem, is that people were like, I can't believe that you're still friends with John. And I'm like, why? He's the same person. Like, I love him.
Yeah, he was still the same racist that you love, yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. Like, we can talk about this stuff amongst each other and try to find a common ground, right? Yeah. Like, it's way better to have a conversation and try to understand each other. Otherwise, you just end up with these segregated groups, people who hate each other. Yeah. Like, you really expect me to just be like, you said something that I disagree with and I can't talk to you anymore. Like, that's how...
Wow, you changed your tune with Hassan, didn't you?
Sick as that.
Yeah, I agree.
So just for context there, right? JonTron went full mask off Nazi. Ethan Klein says, I disagree. We can still be friends. We can still talk about these things. I'm not going to get rid of you because you were an extremist, right? Hassan never said anything that extreme. Never, ever said anything that extreme. And you burn your entire relationship with him and then started a massive campaign to try and end his streaming career because you said he was extreme. Why the double standard? Could it be that you're the one with more extreme opinions? You support war criminals. You support
Well, yeah, it's because he's a Zionist, yeah.
Israel. You support this state of settler colonialism and apartheid, so much so you went there and decided you wanted to become part of it. You wanted to become a citizen. I am saying that is more extreme than anything Hassan has said. And me and Hassan, of course, we share a lot of beliefs. Obviously, I'm not in his mind. I don't know, everything he said. He said some crazy shit as well. But also, even Klein, you've said some crazy shit. You've said some crazy shit. What did you say about Aaron Bushnell? Straight after he died, in a private little stream that you thought no one would see. What did you say about Ben Shapiro?
If there's another Holocaust and people start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben Shapiro gets gassed. Oh my good God. What the fuck? What the That's fucking wild. Jesus Christ, man. But he's not extreme or anything. He's not extreme. He's not. He's not. No. He's always been fighting the extremisms.
I hate Ben Shapiro. What you said was fucking insane. And
yeah, that's
people would
grotesque.
say that's extreme.
Yeah.
So we've got you praising war criminals, that thing you said about Ben Shapiro. Then we have you also downplaying an actual fascist coming on your podcast, having loads of fascists on your podcast, like fascist adjacent people like Jordan Peterson, and glazing him. And again, by your own standard, if you said, I used to be more like controversial, right wing, all that stuff, and I decided that is bad for the internet, so I've decided in recent years I'm going to change and fight extremism, that would be one thing. You saying you are the extremism fighter for many, many years is absolutely, it's fucking bullshit. And
it is bullshit. Fundamentally absolute rubbish, yes. Yeah.
You've normalized so much of this. If you're having Jordan Peterson on your podcast, followed up by Jontron after he's outed himself as a fascist, and you're normalizing all their views, you've done way more damage to the internet culture than someone like Hassan has. And again, this is all based around one issue. You're now shitting on him for Ukraine, Taiwan, Tibet. You had no problem with that shit. It's because he's gone against Israel, now you care. You bring on people on your podcast
that is really the crux
Israel
of it.
and palling around with Zionist extremists. People who did half a sociology degree and read Wikipedia, they're the experts because they believe what you say, but Hassan is a left-wing extremist, and he's basically like the left-wing version of Donald Trump. Right? Absolutely insane. And the fact that you think you have any moral high ground on extremism, building your career on edgy humor, building your career on racism against black people, which included saying the N-word loads, building your career on platforming some of the most toxic people on the internet and downplaying how bad they were, building your career on just being like some edgelord comedian who said way more extreme things than most people on the internet, only to turn around and start calling Hassan an extremist because he criticizes Israel, while you're praising some of the architects of what happened in Gaza as moderates. If you think Yoav Gilad is a moderating voice and what he said on October 8th wasn't bad, what does that say about your own politics? You're not some sort of moderate. You're not some person who has any high ground on morality and politics.
True.
You're basically someone who's had their brain broken and has been spending too much time.
Honestly, since October 7th, a lot of Zionist people, or a lot of people who didn't even necessarily believe themselves to be Zionists, they got triggered into it, I think. And that's not a pun on trigger as in to shoot. I mean, like, it was a psychological trigger to defend what they consider, like, I don't know, something that they're connected to on a religious or ethnic level, right? Or indeed politically, I think, as well. A lot of people who would have considered themselves moderate and probably not even to be Zionists have found out something about themselves that will change forever how the rest of the world interacts with them, I think. Because that will be a stain on you forever. If during this time you were like, yay, Israel, that will be a stain on you for the rest of time. To the degree to which you will be remembered as a fucking monster. And rightly so.
Talking to Destiny fans and Destiny, because people are challenging your ideology where, yes, you joined the Israeli state voluntarily because you like what you saw. And now people are calling you out for that, and you can't handle it because deep down I think you know, yeah, Israel as a construct is a bad thing. You're bad for becoming a citizen of Israel by choice, even though you were born in America. And I guess now you decided just to double down because you can't take any criticism.
Yeah, it's a good point,
And
Lice.
the only people you'll get in your podcast to talk about this are people who you know will agree with you. So I thought I'd just make this video because I always thought it was hilarious. And this thing caught my eye, especially him thinking he's ever fought extremism. You have done nothing but normalize extreme voices, and you've said more extreme things than most people. You have no moral high ground. Even if Hassan was some crazy radical Maoist, you have no high ground on him at all. So that's it for the video.
Well, talking
Let me
of
know what you guys
Maoists-
think, and thank you for watching.
Hello, Chairman. Hey, I'm going to finger him. Oh, I'm going to do that. Have they got him embalmed, or do I have to dig again? I don't like digging them up. Partner push 2029. Anyway, to finish off tonight's proceedings, we're gonna watch the rest of the Illuminati video from Sunday, was it? I think we started watching this. So yeah, I forgot where we were exactly, but I've gone with 6 minutes in. We'll see. Whatever.
We are hell-bent on lying about what the majority's base instincts are. If we keep refusing to believe what they have told us about them, what history and our lived experiences confirm, what we have to do is educate people about these issues all year round. And not only do we have to constantly fight, debunk, and respond to misinformation steeped in bigotry, we have to lead the charge to educate the masses unprompted. We have to choose to not just be advocates for ourselves and others, but we have to invite the people who are other, who are most vulnerable, to tell their own stories, to humanize their own stories, to dispel the caricatures of them that the bigots present to the society. And none of that happens if we're constantly downplaying the impact and threats of these kinds of content and the ideologies that they espouse, especially when it's all significantly more popular than any explicitly leftist political content. None of that happens if we refuse to see our pop culture and social discussions are truly political in nature and affect how people see the world around them, and thus what kind of politicians and legislation they will support. We also cannot do this following the white leftist model of trying to strip race and gender from every analysis. Bigotry and hate is not as nuanced as we insist on pretending it is. It's not economic anxiety or any other term people have grabbed on to explain why everyone but black people voted for a white supremacist. It's more than class. And
Yeah, class reductionism, bad memes. But this is a good meme. Who Ethan Klein thinks he is, who he actually is. Yep. That's about right. That's about right. Kev, linky link. To what? What do you want me to link to?
anybody peddling this idea that the working class was abandoned to explain why white people voted for a white racist like they always do, when the black working class all chose not to vote for a white supremacist. And by
To be fair though, the working class, well, the working class in general have been abandoned. But I don't think that alone explains anything, really.
Biden's administration has allowed for some of the biggest union wins we've seen in a while is wrong. And I mean that, even if Bernie Sanders is the one who said it. So many people want to divorce race and gender from the analysis of Kamala Harris's loss, even though it's inextricable from any meaningful analysis of how a white supremacist who was impeached twice and incited an insurrection be a far more qualified black woman who served in every branch of government. The mere fact that Kamala Harris is viewed by many of the left as a moderate, or maybe even a right-leaning one to some, and she never once ran on or even mentioned identity politics, trans issues, being woke, or anything else that the right was able to convince the majority she represented, and even many of the white liberals and Democrats echoed these outright fallacious assumptions, is proof of the fact that she wasn't listened to. Who she actually presented herself and her beliefs to be were either ignored, discounted, unheard, or disbelieved. And that is itself proof of how misogynoir and white supremacy functions. This effort by white people on both sides of the aisle to render race, gender, and the intersection of both irrelevant to Kamala Harris's loss is reductive, lazy, and useless. And I want to emphasize not just race and gender, but the intersection of both. Because people think Kamala Harris's identity and thus people's perception of her is as simple as being black or a woman. They dismiss the prejudice she faced and the unique perception and obstacles she was up against as a black woman by comparing her to Barack Obama, a black man, or Hillary Clinton, a white woman, as though these experiences, identities, or plights are all the same. They are not. Black women are not either black or woman. We are both. And that brings about its own specific obstacles. The function of white supremacy is to create conditions where white people are presented as having done exceptionally well or having been exceptionally great to explain why a mediocre white person benefited from a system meant to benefit them. And that's what this post-election whitewashing has been. It's meant to paint Donald Trump as an exceptionally great candidate who ran an exceptionally great campaign that was more nuanced than we got, while doing everything imaginable to paint Kamala Harris as a bad candidate and responsible for not coming out on top in a system designed for her to fail, where somehow the only truth can be that she just wasn't good enough, that she just didn't do enough. I hate the white leftist tradition of trying to present as progressive and woke by acknowledging racism and misogyny in the abstract, but always dismissing it in application, fighting hard to have class reductionist arguments for why everything happens, and to dismiss race, gender, and intersection. White people in the world around them have an instinctual vested interest in always coming up with a non-bigoted explanation for why white people support bigotry, and we're all forced to live in their delusion. But I refuse. We do not have to overcomplicate this. What's the reason Trump's most successful commercials attacking Kamala Harris were the ones painting her as an ally of the trans community? Because America hates trans people. Not because trans people have done anything to them, not because the trans community is even big enough for most of these people voting against them to encounter a trans person, but simply because it's that easy to turn Americans, the majority, against anyone they deem other. We can keep...
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's a really good piece of analysis. Conservatives especially, it's very easy to tell them what to hate. Because they want to hate. They're fueled entirely by hatred and spite and just, frankly, being fucking ridiculously unpleasant. Put it back on. Put what back on? What? What have I missed? What do you mean put it back on? I know what you're talking about. Anyway, yeah, Americans especially, but conservatoids want to be told what to hate. So whether it's something reasonably low level like Keurig coffee machines or Bud Light or whatever, or whether it's actual religious, ethnic, gender, sexual groups, whatever, virtually every minority group has faced that kind of bigotry, which is why, of course, white people are so obsessed with the idea of becoming a minority. Because they suspect that they'll be treated that way themselves, which of course isn't necessarily the case. It doesn't have to be the case that whoever's in charge has to shit all over minorities. It's just white people tend to. Which is grim. That dog is possessed. The power of Christ compels you. That is the fucking demon dog. Demon. I don't know about the woman with the pretty hair. The guy cosplaying as a bin man in the bottom corner. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you sideways, prick. Fuck you. Dickhead. Prick dickhead. Shut up.
Keep going down this list. Here's another one. What's the reason Trump can promise to not just mass deport undocumented immigrants, but to reverse the naturalization, literally strip citizenship from people who are already citizens, who did it the right way? Why can he promise to end birthright citizenship and Americans cheer for him? Because they hate immigrants. A fact they scream from the rooftop every second of every single day. I am exhausted of people trying to pretend this nation and its inhabitants are something it's not. Because again, we cannot fix our problems if we won't acknowledge they exist. We cannot sit by and watch right-wing propaganda become more and more popular without being checked for years on end. Or worse, lean into their framing and then convince ourselves Democrats could have overcome deeply ingrained right-wing sentiments in 3 months had they simply spoken to left-wing belief systems. The Democrats and our failure was not failing to stand up for these communities during Kamala Harris's 3-month campaign. It's the failure to do it adequately for years, while Republicans passed more anti-trans legislation in the last several years than ever before in US history. And mainstream...
Do I want to watch Sonic 3? Well, as I've not watched Sonic 1 or 2, will I be able to understand the incredibly complex storylines in the Sonic movies? I don't know. Also, Margaret Scratcher is a very good pun. And can we get some lols in chat for Margaret Thatcher being dead? Always fun.
Media leaned completely into Republican hate campaigns on trans people, and even independent media like TYT, home of the progressive left and largest independent leftist media, actively insisted that the left should completely ignore trans issues because the party doesn't support it, and even eventually leaned fully into anti-trans arguments.
The following
and talking
program
points.
is classified
And that is truly not a dig at TYT or blaming the left. It's just illustrative of the problem we have on our side of the aisle, and I am focused on what we can do better on our side of the aisle. We cannot simply ignore right-wing hate, and it's also woefully insufficient for us to simply respond to it after allowing them to construct these harmful and ignorant narratives and to lead the conversations. We have to understand that people do not just embrace.
How can we make Kevin a Sonic fan? I clearly am a Sonic fan. Which one of you fake Sonic heads out there doesn't have a fucking home crocheted Sonic? Don't come at me with this, oh, you're not a real Sonic fan. Look into his eyes. You tell him that. You tell him that, motherfucker.
Embrace left-wing ideologies in a vacuum because they're better for everyone or more intelligent, which they are. Getting people to embrace left-wing and progressive beliefs and agendas requires us to first help them unlearn their right-wing belief systems before we can even begin educating them about left-wing ones. It's a process, and it's a process because we quite literally live in a country that systemically and institutionally indoctrinates us to believe in gender roles, in the patriarchy, and sexism, and racism, and xenophobia. In capitalism, that's why it's so easy to get people on board with platforms built entirely on hating trans people.
Imagine me trying to explain to my mother what that would even mean. The people, she's been led into a lie to troll me, and people on the internet think that's funny. That wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. Kev, watch the Sonic 3 trailer on stream. Oh, I can link it then. I don't have it. I've not seen it. I don't know what the fuck. I presume it's about a little blue hedgehog and that. That's about all I can tell you. That's why, like, someone suggested this in the Discord, hang on a sort of related note. A video that Sean, of the Sean and Jens, put out, called something or other, Stellar Blade, the Fake Outrage, right? Now, I presume that's got something to do with, like, the right wing pretending that it's woke or some shit like that, right? But I don't know anything about Stellar Blade. I assume from the graphics that it's a video game, but it could be a movie or a TV show. I have no fucking idea. So, like, as much as Sean videos are usually pretty good and they have pretty good takes, I can't offer anything to that. There's nothing I can do with that piece of art or media. Like, I don't. I have to understand at least the basics of the thing being discussed in order to add anything to the conversation, right? Like if it was a Sean video about, I don't fucking know, Donald Trump or something, then I would, but you know, I'd have some fucking frame of reference to be able to critique the critique, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway. Dr. Eggman's Twitter announcement. What's this?
The following program is.
This is from 5 years ago. This is clearly not the Sonic 3 fucking thing, is it?
Classified M. It is recommended for viewers 15 years and over. We recommend the use of the parental lock system.
I come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog fucking quilly dick out and he pissed on my fucking wife and he said his dick was this big. And I said that's disgusting. So I'm making a call out post on my twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small dick. It's the size of this walnut except way smaller. And guess what? Here's what my dong looks like. That's right, baby. All points, no quills, no pillows. Look at that, it looks like 2 balls in a bong. He fucked my wife, so guess what? I'm gonna fuck the earth. That's right, this is what you get. My super laser piss. Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon. How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot! You have 23 hours before the piss droplets hit the fucking earth. Now get out of my fucking sight before I piss on you too.
I don't know what the fuck that was. But that was definitely not the trailer for a film. So, I clearly you don't want me to watch the trailer for the film. Which I'm fine with.
People, hating black people, hating women, hating immigrants, and keeping us all out of the rooms they don't want us in and then calling it a culture war. That does not mean that we should move right. It doesn't mean either us or the Democrats should abandon our messages or each other. It means we have to contend with reality and stop believing there's a quick fix. Which is why it's not enough to respond to the horrible things Republicans want to do to trans people.
Oh, there is actually a trailer. Oh, okay. I thought you were all just fucking trolling. Okay.
Here we go. Showtime.
What is this den of madness?
Are you Detective Pikachu?
He does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika.
Konichi, what? Get down.
Oh! Oh, no. No. No, no. No, 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 no. No. Konichi, what? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I can't, no, chat. Just, no. Again, I can only reiterate, no. You just racism'd all of Japan, Sonic. Konichi, what's up, motherfucker? Konichi, what the fuck?
It's time, Shadow. Finally, we will have our revenge. But what good is a dastardly plot if you can't conspire with family?
There's 2 Eggmen now?
Double your villains?
Are they both him? Are they both Jim Carrey, these 2 dickhead characters? Robotnik and... Robotnik Senior? I don't know.
Double your fun. Any last words?
Nice magic marble. Real scary. That actually is real scary. Trick shot. Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret mission.
We're in.
Are you ready?
We were born ready.
All right, boys, try and keep up.
Come on, Granddaddy-O. We've got dirt to do.
Oh, don't bring Britain into this. Don't besmirch our great national capital with your fucking filth. That's Tower Bridge. Right there is the Tower... Hang on, which side is it? There it is, Tower of London there. That's where you fuckers need to be locked up for this crime. You know what they do to hedgehogs in prison?
With Shadow's power,
We can rule humanity.
When we're done, there won't be anything left to rule. That is dark.
Somebody better call Google Maps.
Life's
Oh, fuck off.
Remember to listen to your heart. You're gonna make the right choice when it matters the most.
Want to head down to another? Who does your highlights?
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
This ends now.
Our destiny awaits. You were right about one thing. This ends now.
Well, that was absolute fucking pish. Oh, I hope the advertising around this doesn't make my mum make another fucking doll. Oh, Jesus. She's going to see the poster and be like, oh, Kev likes Sonic. And then make a... Oh, she's going to make me a Jim Carrey Robotnik fucking doll. And I'm going to have to go full Luigi on the entire world. Ah... Fucking Jesus Christ. Honestly, I'm just going to say, you owe me money now. Whoever suggested I had to do this, you owe me money. You should donate money now. For the Sonic fucking damage you've just done to me. You happy with yourself? You proud?
Or immigrants or women or people in the criminal system by telling them it's horrible. They don't care because they think it's the way it should be, that it's the natural order of things, that it's what's right. We can't ignore, downplay, or dismiss the onslaught of attacks in the trans community for at least the last 4 years.
I'll donate if you say Shadow is cool. Well, I just did. Shadow is cool. Now give me all of your money. I don't even know what that means, but whatever.
And then expect people to give a that Republican bigot Nancy Mace is working overtime to ban trans employees in the federal government from using...
Konnichiwa. Fucking hell. They made Sonic racist. Can we cancel Sonic? Can we actually unironically do cancel culture on Sonic? I think we need to. It's the only way. I'm sorry, mate, but you did do racism, so we're gonna have to kill you. Should I? I was thinking it would be really funny now if I had...
Grifters donated $6.90. You know what? Yeah, we've been enough of a despunkifying nuisance.
Thank you.
Love you, man.
Much love. It'd be funny if I had a knife and I'd literally did like an ISIS beheading. That would be fucking brilliant. I might do an ISIS beheading. What do you reckon? Would you all like to see me kill Sonic on stream? Maybe we could have it as a sub goal. Hit the sub goal. I'll let Gil loose on him. Fucking. Thank you, Sayan Hajimi. For gifting us up. Much love. Much love. No. I'm getting an overwhelming no right now. Okay. Fuck it. You woke bastards. Don't even want me to just do a bit of terrorism. A cheeky bit of terrorism between friends. No? Too much for you. You fucking little cunt. Okay, you definitely have to donate now. You definitely have to donate. You can't fucking rickroll and then not donate. It's a fine. It's a fine for you. It's a punishment for your transgressions. Did you know Sonic is a leftist? He's an anti-Semite. Oh, I didn't know.
The bathroom because they've been consuming propaganda for years that have told them that trans people are a threat to them and their safety. We can't just...
This stream has lost its focus. Like this stream ever had focus. this stream has always been shit.
Respond to attacks on the trans community. We have to actively advocate for them first. We have to educate people about gender roles, about binaries, about patriarchy, about the murders and violence that trans people experience at higher rates than any of us, and everything in between. And we can't educate anyone about the humanity of trans people. We have to show them the humanity of trans people. And that requires us to give trans people seats at our table, not just to advocate for themselves, but to be seen. It's so easy to other people you never truly see or hear from. It's very easy to convince people to believe lies about people if they never get to hear those people's truths. The same is true for immigrants, homeless people, people within the criminal system. The list goes on. We have to educate each other, and we have to craft our messages to quietly address people's preconceived biases and misconceptions out the gate. Not because I agree with or think those preconceived biases and misconceptions are justified, but because they're there, and we have to first tackle them to get people to hear our point. This is something I consciously think about whenever I think about how I'm going to approach advocating for any issue to the public. Take, for example, Rikers, or even abolition as a whole. I can want people to oppose Rikers in the criminal system as a whole all I want, and I can think that the reasons they should are all that's just or logical, but I have to recognize that the majority of people are not inclined to agree with me, because everything they've been taught to believe about police, prisons, jails, and the people who find themselves trapped within the criminal system tells them that police are the good guys, prisons and courts are justice, and anyone who finds themselves on the bad side of the criminal system are the bad guys, deserving of what they get. So I have to work from there, whether I want to or not. I know that when people think about Rikers, its infamy precedes it, and they believe that it's an exceptionally horrible place for exceptionally horrible people who've been convicted for exceptionally horrible things. So whenever I talk about Rikers, the first thing I mention is that it's actually a pretrial detention center, and the people there have not been convicted of a crime, they just don't have the money for bail. I don't say that because I believe we should only have compassion for people who haven't been convicted or people who may be innocent. I say it because I know it dispels their preconceived misconceptions and biases. Similarly, whenever I discuss abolition in depth, I go out of my way to explain that when I first heard about abolition, that it sounded crazy to me too. And that even as a person who knew prisons, police, and the courts were unjust, it was still hard for me to conceive of a world without them. And that I didn't suddenly become an abolitionist overnight after reading Our Prisons Obsolete, because it's impossible to simply abandon the entire foundation for your beliefs the first time it's challenged. I go out of my way to say that because it's necessary to make people feel like it's safe for them to keep learning more, asking questions, exploring issues, and coming to conclusions over time, that I'm not indicting or hating them for not switching over to my side immediately, even if that's how I feel internally or what I would like to happen. Meeting people where they're at does not mean allowing them to stay there. It means building your arguments from there, choosing messages that will resonate, but never abandoning the causes in the communities. None of what I'm saying means that I believe I or any other leftist or the left as a whole is responsible for the position we find ourselves in. I'm simply diagnosing where we're at and trying to figure out how we can better bring folks over to our side as someone who has managed to persuade tens of thousands of people to support some of my arguments, whether you like me or not. Today's video was brought to you by Raycon.
Yeah, I'm not watching a fucking advert. Especially when the only Ray I care about is Raytheon. Raytheon.com for all of your drone strikes.
The cutoff date to make sure Cholet. So let me tell you where to find everything. On the main Olernati channel, we have Olernati productions like the one you just watched. We have my weekly podcast, Olay and Friends, which is also available on Spotify and Apple.
Is that literally it? Are we at the end? Oh, that is literally it. Okay. Well, I can go to bed then. It's a bit early, but thank you everyone for listening and watching. The rest is just an ad. Yeah, okay. Well, I wasn't sure. Thank you, Lace, for becoming a member on the YouTubes. Much love to you. Okay, I'm going to fuck off. I'll be back probably tomorrow, I imagine. Probably with some Prime Minister's questions, because that's tomorrow. I think it might be the last one before Christmas. I'm not sure. Not sure. Anyway, either way, it'll be a fun time in the house, I'm sure. No, it won't. It'll be shit, as always. But, you know, shit, but worth watching. Politics is dumb, but very important. So I'll probably be back with a bit of that. And then probably some content slop, as always. Thank you to the new people. Thank you to the old people. Thank you to the medium people. Let's see who's going on YouTube. Customization. I'm just going to carry on talking you through this. Who is going? It's literally just No Justice. So go and say hello to No Justice on YouTube. Bye. And on Twitch, we went over to Helena on Twitch yesterday, and I like to sort of spread things around a little. So we might go to somewhere a little different. Zakap's on. Okay. Zakap is a person who regularly pops into the chat. So I'll send you all there because he's good beans. Okay, there we go. Go and check them out. They're talking about capitalism, which is not massively unsurprising, but there we go. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow with politics and stuff. Thank you so much for all of your support. Genuinely, it means the world to me. Stay beautiful and free Palestine. No pass around.